What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. That means we're gonna have us a good old time tonight. I'm your host, Emmanuel Eman Noisette. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming through and hanging out with me tonight. I really do appreciate it. We have got to talk about the Predator finally getting a trailer. We're gonna watch that. We got some Star Wars updates. It was celebration of Star Wars, whatever, that happened over the week. So we'll talk about a couple of those things. And then apparently, Hollywood is shooketh right now. But we're going to talk about that as we go through. But, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all, being patient with me. Last week was hectic. It was crazy. I don't know if you've been following or not, which you should. But I had my Sinners watch party. Thank you so much to those of y'all that came. I know it was super short notice. I'm going to do my best not to do short notice screenings or showings again. But man, that was really dope that y'all showed up. I really, really appreciated that. That was really cool. Some people were asking, there's a strong possibility, because there are going to be a lot of movies coming up in the summer, that the next watch party might be Fantastic Four, if that's what y'all want, if y'all cool with that. Because it was either Superman, it's not gonna be Thunderbolts. It was gonna be Superman, Fantastic Four, and I don't know if there was if there was another one, but it was gonna be between those two. But I think Fantastic Four might be the one I'm leaning towards, only because at least that will be setting up Avengers Doomsday. And I'm pretty sure we all want to see, whatever that setup is. So put that on the calendar. More than likely, we will be doing a watch party around the release date of Fantastic Four, whenever that is. So for those of y'all thinking and wondering, that's when we would probably do that. But not only that, I had to also do a little bit of traveling. I don't even think I haven't posted everything yet, so I do have to post a couple videos and pictures later. But your boy got flown out. Okay, I got flued out. Shout out to WWE. Shout out to Netflix specifically for allowing me, to fulfill another dream, which was to go to WrestleMania. It was funny because I was talking to Netflix a long time ago, and I was like, "Hey, man, what's up with them WrestleMania tickets, man? What's up with that?" And they was like, "Man, that ain't our thing." You know what I'm saying? Like, because they didn't control that. They got Raw, right? Y'all remember? I went to Raw. I covered Raw. That was cool. But they was like, "Man, WrestleMania, that ain't really our thing." And I was like, "All right, that's cool. Listen, what's up with that Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania? What's up with that?" And they was like, "Listen, we'll talk." Man, I got that email and it was like, "Hey, what's up, big head? You want to come to Raw?" I said, "Yes, absolutely." And then it was going to be like a little, what are they going to do? We was just going to do a little watch party. Listen, we was probably going to go to some basement, some bar, watch WrestleMania. That's fine with me. I don't care. I was going to watch it anyway, on my computer at home. So that's fine. And then they upgraded that email and was like, "Hey, what's up, boo-boo? You want to go to WrestleMania too?" I said, "Wow, yes. Yes, I do. Thank you." So flew out, went there, put me up in a very nice hotel. Was the Aria. And yeah, like it was a dream come true. Dream come true. I don't know if y'all saw. I think I showed y'all the video with Kev on stage. Second I get on the bus, I see this big chocolate head, and I'm like, "Damn, that looked like Kev on stage." And then he turns around, and I'm like, "Yep, that's him." Now I was gonna speak to him at first, but he was with his family, so I was like, I don't like doing that. I don't want to go approaching people while they have their family with them. So I was like, I'm gonna let them enjoy their stuff. But my man started dozing off. He started dozing off on the bus, and I was just like, "Nah, bro. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to let this slide. I can't let it slide." So yes, I took a video of Kevin on stage while he was dozing off. Now, here's the funny thing. Now, his kids posted this. I didn't. Mrs. Kev on stage was also pre-tired, right? They both were pre-tired. They both were knocked out, but I did not capture Mrs. On stage, Kev on stage. I didn't capture her. I only got Kev because that's the target, right? I left her out. I cropped her out of that. But it was very fun. I did apologize to him in advance. It was real funny. I saw him at the next event for Monday Night Raw, and first thing I said to him, I was like, "Hey, excuse me, Mr. On Stage, I apologize in advance." He was like, "For what?" And I was like, "For what I'm gonna post." And he was like, "What did I do?" And I was like, "Sir, it's actually what you didn't do, you know." And he was like, "I was sleeping, wasn't I?" I was like, "Well, yeah." So it was cool. And the cool thing is, we got a chance to talk. What was hilarious was the fact that we just started having a full-on conversation. And I don't even think we had a real introduction. Like, I've met him before. I don't expect him to remember me like that. Because I met him during the Ant-Man premiere years ago. But it was just kind of funny because he was like, "Wait a minute. Did we just have a 15-minute conversation and we didn't even introduce ourselves or nothing?" I was like, that's just how it be sometimes, just what it is. It was just a very genuine, authentic conversation. He liked some of my shirts. I hooked him up with a couple, so it was just real cool, real cool. By the way, okay. So I need some of y'all to help me out with this. Kev on stage. At Kev on stage. I'm telling y'all this. He does not know about From. I brought up From to him, and he had no idea what it was. He was like, "What's that?" I said, "Excuse me?" I was like, "Harold Perrineau? What you mean? What's that?" I need y'all to go give this man the From challenge. Okay? I made a short on my videos. Y'all can find it. Please share that with him. Because I challenged him in person. I was like, "Listen, you need to take the From challenge. You need to watch the first 8 minutes and you will know whether you got to watch it or not. I need y'all to go ahead. Tell him E-Man sent you. Okay? E-Man sent you and you need to take the From challenge right now." So that we need Fromily. We need that kind of exposure. We need more conversation about From. So let's go. Let's see what else. Other than that, listen, fantastic experience. I got to talk to a couple wrestlers. That was pretty cool. Got to meet a couple of them and chat. Unfortunately, the audio wasn't very good, so I couldn't really post a lot of those interviews. Shout out to Kofi Kingston. Shout out to Jay Uso. I was really hoping I could meet Jacob Fatu. That's my guy right there. That guy right there, Jacob Fatu. If y'all have been watching wrestling, that man is a force. Okay, he from the gutter, straight from the streets. Okay, all gas, no brakes. Oh, he's off the leash now. I love Jacob Fatu. That is my guy. I didn't get to meet him, but one day. So fingers crossed, I will be able to meet him and just give him his props because that man has been a force lately in the game, and I love it. Anyway, okay, so got it. Sorry, that was a long little story, but that's why there was no live last week. I was tired. I had to fly. The jet lag. Couldn't even do it. Y'all lucky I even made it right now because it was a struggle. It was a struggle. All right, first of all, let's go ahead and say a couple of quick shout outs to those of y'all that made it, and then we can get started. Minister Crush, what is going on? Good to see you again. Paulette, how you doing? Mary J, how are you? Sam K, good to see you. Dex of Reason, appreciate you coming through. King Chad's in the building. What is up? Ism, how you doing? Quiet One, appreciate you coming through. Corey, how you doing? My man Nelson V is here. Good to see you. Talented One, what is up? How are you? Let's see. Stamina, good to see you as well. Steven, how you doing? Gothic Chick, appreciate you coming through. Ms. Harper, come on through with the NFL draft. I tried to watch some of the draft. Man, did they pick Shador yet? That's the I haven't seen it. I was checking my phone for the updates. Y'all let me know. I was prepping for the live, so I don't know. Has Shador gotten picked up yet? I saw he got a certain endorsement, but I don't know if he got picked up. Look like a little collusion. Collusion. I'm sorry. I'm sure he'll be picked up soon. But yeah, that's we in the second round. My man still ain't getting picked up. Yikes. We got hold on. It's just Zia now. Okay, just Zia. Okay. We on the one name basis. Okay, then. Good to see you. My man Dre is here. How you doing? Tyra, appreciate you coming through. Theo, what is up? Good to see you as well. Who else? I see the homie Treese is here. Jerm. Hello. T-Bill. Hello, how are you? Who else did I see? I saw, come on through. Mama J's in the building. Good to see you. Baker's back. Appreciate you. Akuri, good to see you as well. My man Mike is back. Good to see you. Raymond, hello. Soto, what is up? Kristen, appreciate you coming through. I see MC is here. Thank you so much. Diane, good to see you again. Appreciate you. Who else? I want to see some new people. There we go. AJ, what is up? Good to see you. Come on through. Tracy is here too. Finally had the courage to at least say hello. Okay, so thank you for coming through at the watch party. I appreciate you, Tracy. I really do. And for not being too scared just to say hello. I be telling all of y'all, if y'all see me in them streets, I just need y'all to do two things. It's cool, just say what's up, and just let me know who you are, because I don't know the faces all the time. You know, that's like, hey, it's me, Turbo 1000. I don't know, whatever your name is. Just let me know. Just let me know. Help me. Y'all know I'm slow. Help me. But thank you so much. My man Taz is here. What is up? Good to see you. Andrew, hello. Phil Roy, good to see you. Tanya, good to see you as well. Who else we got? Bernicia? Did I say that right? I hope I did. Help me out if I didn't. But thank you so much. V-Dub. How about V-Dub? Can we do V-Dub? V-Dub. I like V-Dub. I just don't like messing up names. But V-Dub, I'm gonna hold you to that for now. Hello, good to see you. Jam, we got you already. Mitchell, how you doing? My man Mitch, good to see you. Claus, hello. CPT, Jay, who else? Come on, we got Kiki in the building, 60 plus. My man Omar is back. Omar coming. There's Omar. Who else I see? I saw some other people. CJ and DB Board. And shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight. Guys, I really, really do appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. All right, let's get down to business. I know it's late. We had a late start, so I'm going to try not to keep y'all here too long. Let's go into what are we going to do? We're going to do let's do some quick updates. We just going to talk about a couple things. They're not full stories, but it's just something to talk about. First of all, man, I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to grow up. Why? Because I was a Toys R Us kid. Did y'all know that a live action Toys R Us movie is in the works? The real question here is why? Why? Now, for those of y'all that were, let's say, born in the 90s, God, this might be dating. Oh my God, feel so old now. Man, I feel so bad. Especially, no, forget the 90s. I think 90s kids probably still had it. 2000s kids. All of y'all in the 2000s. I feel so bad for y'all. Okay? Like my daughters, I feel terrible for them that they don't know a thing about Toys R Us. When I tell you Toys R Us was a thing of beauty. Toys R Us was an experience. It was an experience for kids. Y'all don't understand. See, first of all, when I grew up, we grew up poor. So when we was, even thinking about getting a toy at all, you was going into a store and an aisle right? All you had was that aisle, and that one little aisle, they had one for boys and one for girls, right? You got your Barbie section and all that. Then you got your little action figure sets and all that stuff, right? That was it. That was it. And you'd be lucky. You'd be lucky if those toys were name brand toys, okay? Because sometimes, I will admit, grandma used to take me to the dollar store. Sometimes I would see Action Man. I'm like, who is Action Man? What movie, what TV show is Action Man? I don't want Action Man. No, and you don't even get like the Power Rangers. You would get like some Power Morphers. Who the hell are the Power Morphers? Grandma, I wanted the Power Rangers. I wanted Tommy and who are the Power Morphers? So listen, Toys R Us, game changer. Okay, you walked into a whole store full of everything. I mean, you had your toys, you had your action figures, you had your games, you had the video game section, you had like a land. You could walk into Lego Land. You could walk into Barbie Land. It was the Disney World of toys. So when the word came out that Toys R Us was like shutting down, man, I mean, I was grown by then, but that still hurt. It still hurt. It was like, what? Somebody save them. Who can save Toys R Us? Because that magic needs to pass on to somebody else, to another generation. How y'all gonna keep Arby's in business, but Toys R Us gotta suffer? What? That don't make sense. The math ain't mathing. Who was keeping Arby's in business all this time? Can't they do the magic for Toys R Us? Anyway, supposedly this movie will be, first of all, they said live action as if like, what were y'all gonna do? An animated one? Okay. But from the little bit I read, it sounds like they just want to do something that will recapture the magic that Toys R Us brought. And you know what? Listen, I gotta be honest. Like, I'm really surprised that no other company has tried to replicate this. Now, I don't know how much it costs to run a Toys R Us. I don't know the business side. Clearly, it wasn't making enough money. But at the same time, that I don't recall any store really being able to fully capture that same magic for everyone, right? Like, you can go to an American Doll store or, whatever. That's fine. But Toys R Us, that was for everybody. And the little jingling too. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Man, you're just not going to get that no more. Oh, anyway. Guys, what do you think about this live action movie for Toys R Us? Is this something that you will watch? Is this something maybe you'll watch just for the nostalgia? I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know. What else? We got some other movies that are coming back. Now, yeah, we know about the whole reboots. Reboot alert. Here we go. Urban Legend reboot is in the works. Why? Now, I remember, what was this? In the mid 2000s or something like that, there was this whole like fever rush of slasher movies. You had Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then you had Urban Legend, and you had all of these movies. I don't even remember this movie. This movie felt like a ripoff of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, I Know What You Did Last Summer, it had its place. It did some good stuff. But I'm sitting here like, what? Who said that we needed another Urban Legend? I don't even remember what this movie was about. Why are you doing this? Of all the movies that you can even potentially reboot, I mean, we know that they are doing, I don't even think it's a reboot, but it's a continuation of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I was going to play the trailer, but copyrights. I understand that. This, man, y'all can. I'm not watching this. Like, if this doesn't stream immediately, I still don't even know if I'd watch it on stream. Like, where was the desire for this? I don't know. this actually just reminded me of something, and I wanted to. I'm completely going off the rails for this. Um, I remember around the 2000s or something. Um, there was an interesting wave that happened. This was around when Saw came out. This is when Hostel came out. And this was probably one of the last few gems, hidden gems that I found, just randomly stumbled upon and loved it. And I don't know, this urban legend thing literally just reminded me, and I just wanted to put y'all on it in case you did not know. I need y'all, if you haven't already, don't look it up. Well, actually, some of y'all scary, so y'all might want to look it up. But this was one of my favorite films, and it was called The Collector. The Collector came out in what, 2009? I'll give you the basic premise. The basic premise. You have this, the main character is a thief. He's a thief, right? He breaks into a home because he gonna steal their jewelry, all that stuff. But as he's breaking into the home, he finds out somebody's already there. And the somebody who's already there is way worse than him. He's actually captured or kidnapped the family that was there. When I tell you this movie was so thrilling, so suspenseful, I loved it. And they went ahead and made a part 2. And I think they made a part 3. I don't remember part 3 as much, but I do remember part 2, to me, was just as good. So I know, completely off the rails, this was not expected, but I just want more people to understand this was like the last bit of original gold that you would stumble upon. And, before Hollywood just went straight up reboots and franchises and stuff. I love this movie. I love this movie. This was really good. I don't remember if they have a part 3. Don't quote me on that. I think they did. But I know they had a part 2, and I loved it because part 2 picked up right where part 1 ended. Fantastic. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. If you're a little squeamish, though, might not be for you. Might not be for you. Really good. Anyway, let us continue. You do also have another continuation. This is from Quentin Tarantino. Remember his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Well, his character that he created, Cliff Booth, is going to have a sequel, but this time it's David Fincher who is going to be doing the sequel, and it is now going to be called The Continuing Adventures of Cliff Booth, and the film will follow Brad Pitt's character as he navigates as a Hollywood studio fixer. So if you liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's great. Now you can go ahead and get a little bit more of Cliff Booth. I liked the movie. I thought it was okay. I'm a fan of Tarantino and all his movies. I don't know if it was his strongest movie, but I did enjoy it. But you had me sold at David Fincher and Brad Pitt. I mean, when these guys collab, it's nuts. Okay, Seven, like just I trust David Fincher. Whatever he wants to do, I don't care. Like, if this was anybody else, I probably would have been like, forget this. I don't care. But that pairing, I'm interested. I am interested. Y'all let me know if you care or not. What else do we have? We also have Remake City. The live action Akira remake is still happening. It says here, I think you can expect an update in the next couple of months. Now, here's the thing. In case you did not know, Akira is probably one of the most highly acclaimed animated films out there. If you've ever seen, and I'm sure you've seen it, if you ever seen that motorcycle, this pose right here is classic, right? That motorcycle drag, that little hard turn drag, that is a classic thing. Akira did it. You see it in Nope. You've seen it in a bunch of different movies, all paying homage to that. And this film, in case you did not know, is also heralded because it was like groundbreaking animation. Like at that time, the way this animation was doing things, the cinematography, all of that, it was like revolutionary. But I was not one of the crowd that saw Akira when it first came out. So I had watched it a lot later. I had heard all this hype about it, and I was like, okay, let me see what it's about. It did not live up to the hype for me. When I saw it, I was like, this is weird. This is weird. Technically, visually, great. I understand it. Not taking none of that away. The story and some of the other stuff that was, I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. This is that weird corner of anime that requires an acquired taste. So I'm not knocking nobody that loves it. I get it. I'm just saying you gotta be a hardcore anime fan to really love that movie. And that's okay. That's okay. I love anime. I don't think I'm hardcore like that. But anyway, they're doing a live action for that. So we'll have to wait and see if that's gonna be anything. We do also have a prequel series to Pacific Rim. Now, I will say that I really enjoyed the first Pacific Rim. That was the one with Idris Elba, I believe. And then you had the sequel with John Boyega. I like the concept for the sequel, but I did not like the execution. Like it got bad. It just got bad after a while. So I did not like that. But the franchise, the idea, I did enjoy, and I still enjoy. I watched the Netflix. Netflix had like a little series that they did. I thought that was actually done pretty well. I enjoyed their series. And then you also have the fact that they're doing this prequel series now, which I'm interested, at least for the story element of it. But I don't know how big this can get. So because it's coming to Prime Video, I'll probably give it a shot. Y'all let me know. Are y'all like into the Pacific Rim? Did you miss the boat on it? Do you not care? Feel free to let me know what you think about this series coming up. Now one thing we've talked about that hold on. Now let's just go to this. Let's go to this. Now you had me with this. Okay. The next Godzilla film with the same director is going to be a direct sequel to Godzilla -1. Listen, just call it Godzilla -2. Easy. Easy. Okay. I'm here for this. Godzilla -1 is probably one of the best Godzilla movies to date. To date. I am here for this. Okay. Shout out to whoever recommended me to go watch this. I know my guy when we was I think we was in LA or something like that. It was like a last minute thing. He was like, "Man, let's just go watch this in IMAX." And I was like, "Whatever. We got time. Let's go." My man Sam. There we go. Shout out to Sam. That was amazing. To watch that in IMAX was amazing. Like if anybody watched it outside of IMAX, I feel bad because that was absolutely something that needed to be seen. Low production costs. It made you feel like you were back in the day when they were making it, but at the same time, it still felt fresh and new. I'm here for this. I'm here for this because clearly the fact that they're trying to make this a sequel, a direct sequel, Godzilla was a whole menace. This creature was messing the main character, that dude, messing this dude's life up. And y'all got to bring him back. You have to bring him back because this man's whole life has been terrorized by Godzilla. And I need him back. I need this just to happen. So I fully support this. I'm on board with this. Let's go with -2. Next. Now, here's the thing. We've talked about this before, but it's been a little rough because we talked about the Street Fighter movie. So it was supposed to happen, then it wasn't happening. Now maybe it still could happen. We don't really know per se, but I'm still scarred because on one hand, there was one of the worst video game movies ever made with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That Street Fighter movie. Actually, I think y'all said part 2 came out, and I think I remember watching part 2, but I don't remember it because you know how like when you go through a traumatic experience and your brain just kind of protects you by like forgetting about it. So I'm going to assume that a part 2 of Street Fighter exists. I'm going to assume that, but my memory will not allow me to unlock that. So Street Fighter's had a very, very rough past, but the side movies have been excellent. Shout out to the YouTube, the straight to streaming one, Assassin's Fist. That was solid. And then of course the animated movie Street Fighter. Oh, Chun-Li and Vega. Oh, that right there. That right there. That's how you do it right. So anyway, there's always been talk about doing another one, but it looks like we actually might be getting one, and they might have actually found the Ken and Ryu, because that's the main thing, right? You need a solid Ryu and you need a solid Ken. And it looks like hold on, let's see who's the Ryu. So, and this is big. Andrew Koji is reportedly in talks to star as Ryu in the live action Street Fighter movie, which I fully support. Now I will say it is a little odd just because you see Ryu over here is kind of buff. I mean, over the years, they have made Ryu extremely buff. My man's not that buff. Now, he can fight and he can act. So I'm going to let it slide. I'm going to let it slide because if y'all don't know, Andrew was also in the show Warrior. Fantastic show. Used to be on either Cinemax or Showtime. I think it's on Netflix right now. Absolutely a great show. Wonderful. Go watch it. If you like martial arts, drama, go ahead and go watch that. Having him be Ryu is a little probably, I don't know, but I know he can fight. I know he can fight and he can act. So that's 2 big check boxes right off the bat. I'll let the rest slide. But here's the thing. Supposedly there's somebody else that's in the talk for Ken. Now, Ken, in case you did not know, while you playing the game, Ken, you either a Ryu fan or you a Ken fan, right? I kind of did both, but I kind of messed a little bit more with Ken when I would play him as a character, like because Ken he just had cooler moves. You know, he had the fire uppercut. He kicked you more time with the Hurricane Rada kick and all that. Like Ken was that dude. This is who they got to play Ken, supposedly. What's his name again? Nick. Yeah, Nick Centino, I believe. This was the dude who supposedly was going to play He-Man, but I think he dropped out. And what is he playing now? He plays in The Recruit. So if y'all watch The Recruit on Netflix, that's who he plays. Now clearly they're gonna have to give him the blonde hair because Ken is a blonde. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I've seen Andrew fight. Andrew can play Ryu. That's fine. I'm cool with it. Nick, can you throw a kick? You gonna need some body doubles? Like, what's happening? What are we talking about here? Because honestly, I probably would have been cool if they just went and got like a Japanese dude and made his hair blonde, even though Ken is supposed to be American. Like, I just need y'all to be able to fight. So we'll see. We'll see. Definitely would have been my first picks, but I'm just happy that they trying something. Is that it? No, we do have some more. For those of you interested, Twisted Metal Season 2 premieres July 31st on Peacock. Okay. How about that? In other news, Vin Diesel is pleading for Universal to reveal when the next Fast and Furious movie will release. He says, Universal, please tell the best fans in the world when the next movie is coming out. Please. Dear Universal, as one of the best fans in the world, please don't. We're not asking for this. We don't need this. Okay? No, thank you. Matter of fact, if you want to sit on this movie and not release it, tax write-offs are not a bad thing. Times be tough, right? We'd be okay with that too. I know I'd be very okay with it. I don't need another Fast and Furious movie. I don't care what happens to Dom's son. I don't care. Okay? No, thank you. No, thank you. Please. No, thank you. So I don't know who Vin Diesel was talking for. He's not talking for us. He's not talking for me. Just, we don't need this. Anyway, that is it. That is it for the quick updates. Y'all let me know which ones you guys are interested in, what you're thinking about, whatever you think. Let me know in the comments down below. I was trying to see if there was any updates on Shador. I don't know. Why? JN, E-Man, don't fool with Elon's Twitter. But heard you had some lames coming at you last week. Let me know if we got a problem. Dope boy voice. Gladly will pull up. Sincerely yours, Petty Pendergrass, aka JN. JN, thank you, man, so much. I appreciate you. Nah, listen, you know, this really just kind of goes back. I mean, I posted this. Y'all seen it. It was really about my review for Sinners. Like, I said what? One bad thing that, in my opinion, still wasn't even like that bad. And then I mentioned another thing that I was like, I literally said this does not count against the movie. And people were like, oh, why you low-key hating on Ryan Coogler? Why are you anti-black? Why don't you support black men? What? I gave the movie an 8.5 out of 10. Like, I put it on, I gave it a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I literally put my money where my mouth is, bought out a whole theater to get people to come and see it. But because I said one bad thing, I talked about the pacing. All I did was I said, listen, either you're going to give us, you know, less of the setup or give us more of the vampires. That's all. That's all. That, like, it didn't ruin the movie. It was just a critique. And then even well, I'm sure some of y'all have seen that already. The group of individuals that they introduced in the movie, right, chasing the villain. I was like, yo, I want more of this. Who are those guys? Where they come from? Where they going? I want some more. That's not a bad thing against the movie. That's just me as a fan being greedy. I wanted more. But one thing I noticed, and I'll get off this. One thing I noticed was somebody left a comment and they were like, man, E-Man, your tone when you were doing your review, your tone just didn't seem interested. And I was like, you know what? That's the key thing that I've realized, because I've noticed in the past, I'm not talking about y'all, but I've noticed a lot of people are no longer listening to what people say. What some people are doing, they're listening for how people feel. I need y'all to catch that. They are listening to how you feel. So I could sit here and be like, man, it's such a beautiful day outside. The sun was shining, really good weather. Had a great time. Man, I'm so excited. Why do you hate the earth? Why are you against daylight? What is the problem with you and the sun? So unless I come in there and be like, y'all, Ryan Coogler came in and he smashed y'all, he killed it, man. Man, this was great. Or, man, that was trash, man. It was gutter booty trash. It was gutter, man. It was bad. Like, that's all y'all looking for now. Y'all don't listen no more. Y'all just say, like, nah, let me just listen to how he feels, nitpick that one thing, and then be like, yeah, that's just stupid. Sorry, stupid. I've told y'all before. If you're looking for the TikTok influencers, go to TikTok. You know, if you want the let's go, I love everything, or the I hate everything because it's woke, y'all in the wrong place. Okay, yeah, that's not me. Yes, I do get excited over some things. Sometimes I don't like certain things, but that's not what this is. It's not a hype machine, nor is it a hate machine. I'm just me. So thank you for that, Jay, and I appreciate you. And yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Like, whew, it's just weird. But I will make sure I put a little energy, in my reviews next time, because my God, people just don't want to listen. The talented one, that should be Fei Long, not Ryu. Sure. He actually would be a really good Fei Long. He would play a good one. I mean, did he play Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? No, that was somebody else. But yeah, he would be a very good Fei Long for sure. JN, I gave Sinners an 8.5 out of 10. Okay. Yeah, so according to those people, you also are a hater of Black culture and Black men, and you don't like Ryan Coogler. Because that's clearly not high enough. That's not high enough of a rating for a fantastic movie. Fantastic movie, but hey, whatever. All right, let's move on. Excuse me. So we have Netflix. Netflix is now coming for theaters. Now, there's always been a contentious type of relationship between Netflix and the theaters because it's two different models, right? Theaters, obviously, they want you to go out there, pay for a ticket to watch a movie on a big screen, pay a crazy amount of money for, food and all that, have that experience. Netflix, on the other hand, they want you to keep paying increased costs for monthly subscription, but you get access to all these movies. You can watch in the comfort of your own home. You could pause, rewind, do whatever you want to do. So you got two different approaches to viewing content, right? So we have the Netflix CEO, Ted Sarandos. By the way, fun fact, I actually finally met him. I have seen Ted multiple times at events, award shows or whatever, but I just never got a chance to talk to him or nothing. But at the wrestling event, I finally got a chance to talk to him. Not long. It was nothing crazy. It was just kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm a film critic. And he was like, oh, cool. Hey, by the way, he was telling me, have you seen that Tom Hardy movie that's coming on Netflix? I was like, no, but I'll check it out now that you mentioned it. So cool guy, easy to talk to. I wish I had read this story first before I would have had a conversation with him. So according to him, I wouldn't say he's anti-theaters, but he does have a strong belief that theaters are going away, right? So let's kind of go into some of these. He says, nah, Netflix, we're saving Hollywood. Ooh, interesting. He goes on, it says here, using the struggling global box office as an example, he says here, what does that say? What is the consumer trying to tell us? That they like to watch movies at home. Thank you. The studios and the theaters are duking it out over trying to preserve this 45-day window that is completely out of step with the consumer experience of just loving a movie. All right, Ted, hold on. Let's slow down here. So I agree. Some movies have been struggling in theaters, right? Now, it really depends on what he's talking about, though, because if we're talking about during the pandemic, and if we're talking about during a whole writer, actor, and director strike, Yeah, things were obviously going to struggle for that period of time. However, stuff is starting to turn up. Okay, just this month alone, you got Sinners killing it. You had The Amateur, all right, drop. Like just the month of April had some decent to really good films that were out, and this summer is packed with stuff. I'm pretty sure people are gonna want to see. You got Thunderbolts coming out, Fantastic Four, Jurassic Park, Superman. You're going to see butts in seats for these movies. So is it telling us that those those box office numbers were bad, that people don't want to watch movies? No. Just like with superhero movie fatigue and that lie, that myth, people just don't like mediocre to bad movies. That's all. Matter of fact, and here's the irony, that's what they use streaming for, because it's a low investment. It's not like, oh man, if I know this movie has all this stuff that I want to see, I'll pay a little money into that because I trust that director or this IP or whatever. But if it's not that great, if it's a little suspect, what do we all say? Man, I'll wait for that to hit streaming. I'll wait for that to go on Netflix or whatever. So, nah, man, you ain't really saving Hollywood. If anything, you might be giving them more jobs, because some of those movies would die in the theaters if they're not that great. But you know, that whole 45 release date window, that's also kind of hurting, I would say, both ends of the spectrum. It's definitely hurting theaters for sure, but the longer a movie stays in theaters, usually that's advertisement for when the movie finally does come to streaming. Then people are like, oh man, it's been 90 days since I seen this. Now it's in my house. Now I can stream it. Now let me watch it again. Or they'll be like, man, I never had a chance to see it in theaters. I've heard great things about it. Now let me watch it. So yeah, I think my man is off right now with this. He goes on to say here that even though Netflix has had movies that they have gone into theaters, he say they have to run for a little bit. It helps with the press cycle a little bit, but I've tried to encourage every director we work with to focus on the consumer, focus on the fans, make a movie that they love, and they will reward you. Sure, that happens, but and maybe y'all can help me with this. How many times have y'all seen or heard or maybe even remember memorable streaming movies compared to movies in theaters? Right? People, to me, like, don't get me wrong, Bird Box was a thing. I liked Extraction. Um, um, I don't know. Are there any others out there? Now, compare that to a lot of the movies in theaters that people will enjoy. People are still talking about Sinners today. People were talking about Deadpool and Wolverine for a while. They was talking about, all these Marvel movies and stuff. I'm just saying, the model that we have with streaming, I would argue, is not really productive for keeping movies relevant, right? Because you'll watch something. Thank you. The Old Guard. Good movie. I liked it, right? But no one's really talking about it unless a sequel happens, which it is, by the way. Like those movies, they come, they're going, they're here, they get advertised, then all of a sudden they just out of here. Is that good for Hollywood? I don't know. I don't think it is. At least, in the theaters, you get a good movie, you let that sucker marinate for a while. It stays in the public memory longer. He says here, folks grew up thinking, I want to make movies on a gigantic screen and have strangers watch them, and to have them play in the theater for 2 months and people cry and sold out shows. It's an outdated concept. It is. It is. We don't want movies that we can react to no more. That's old now. Like, what are we supposed to do otherwise? Like, I thought that is what you wanted. Asked specifically if the desire of filmmakers wanting to make movies for movie theaters for the communal experience is a outmoded idea. So Ted said, I think it is for most people, not for everybody. If you're fortunate to live enough in Manhattan and you can walk to the multiplex and see a movie, that's fantastic. Most of the country cannot. So if you can't walk to a movie theater, y'all don't want to go see movies in the theater? Is that the logic? First of all, I grew up in the burbs. Like, I I've never been able to walk to any movie theater ever. Like, I don't. Well, okay. Like, where's this logic coming from? Who is he talking to? Like, why? So even if you live in Manhattan, I know people that live in New York. Like, they take the subway, they take the train. Like, does he not know about public transportation? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is an example of like maybe he's a little too disconnected from like actual people. Maybe I'm different. I am a movie critic. I do love the movie theater experience. Maybe I'm too biased. I don't know. This is why I need y'all to let me know. What do you think about the Netflix co-CEO's thoughts about the movie experience? Is he right? Does he have a point? Do y'all think he's a little different? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Ba-ba-ba-ba-dum. All right, what we got? Oh, snaps. Hold on, Rhonda. Hold up. Hey, man and fam. I'm here. It's my birthday, so I'm in and out. Sinners was everything. Rhonda, happy birthday. I haven't done this in a while, so let me do it for the homie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rhonda. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you. My wife enjoys my singing. All right. So happy birthday. I hope that you have a fantastic, wonderful time. I do apologize for not giving you a heads up on the watch party. I just gave you one for Fantastic Four, though. But yes, I hope that you have a great, great time. Thank you so much. Let's see. Hold on, what you got? Thank you so much, Chris. Man, oh my gosh, brother. Thank you so much for that very, very generous donation. Stop hating on the cooch. Yeah, you funny. You funny. Just kidding. He is now 5 for 5, batting 1,000. Can you promise to keep this show going at least until Blade comes out or until you're 90? Happy Friday, Shador Sanders to, well, we thought he was going to New Orleans, but or maybe Dallas. I thought Dallas could use him, but I think right now the owners are trying to send a message. You don't run us, boy. You or your daddy. You don't tell us who to draft and when to draft. We make the decisions around here. So I think that's what's going on. Excuse me. It's a little debatable on if Coogler's batting 5 for 5. I guess you could technically say he is. I'm just saying Wakanda Forever was not that good of a movie to me. Like, it barely passed. It checked off all the boxes. I still think it's one of his worst movies, but I also understand the circumstances. So, but I'll let it slide. I'm still a Coogler fan, so we'll leave it at that. But thank you so much, Chris, man. I really appreciate you and your support. JN, I will get back to that once we get closer to the topic, because that is going to be a topic later on. Let's talk about the Oscars. So the Academy, in case y'all did not know, that's where we get all the best picture, best actor, and all that good stuff. They have had an interesting run. We just talked about how they had the brilliant idea before of now they're going to include The stunt category. So shout out to Jackie Chan, shout out to Tom Cruise. I hope they go back and give them retro awards for those many years that they missed. But they're going to not only do that, but it seems like the Oscars, the Academy are also going to include a new rule, which I think is probably one of the most creative, most innovative, just exceptionally brilliant things that they've ever come out with. So let's see what it is. It says here, in a significant change to its pre-voting standards, the Academy will now require members to watch all nominated films in each category to be eligible to vote in the final round for the Oscars. The Academy previously did not require voters in all branches to have seen all the films ahead of voting. What a crazy concept. Brilliant. Great. Bananas. Why wasn't this thought of before? You mean to tell me now y'all finna have a rule that you're gonna actually have the people that decide the fate of these actors, directors, and films and studios to actually watch the movies first? Color me surprised. That's wow. Just wow. I mean, thank you. Thank you. Now, here's the funny thing. I've talked about this before. This is not like a brand new type of deal, because we've had articles where certain Academy voters would literally be like, yeah, nah, we didn't watch that. I didn't watch that movie. I didn't have time for that movie. Matter of fact, here go one right here. One person said, the first Dune, I couldn't get through. I'm not rushing for another 3 hours of Dune. Like, one of the biggest snubs was the fact that Denis Villeneuve did not get an Oscar nomination for Dune as a director. I'm not saying he should have won. I voted for him, but I didn't vote in the Academy. But I'm just saying, like, Dune Part 2 was a really solid movie. It was a fantastic film, and this man didn't even get nominated because folks were scared of 3 hours. Why? Like, when you have the privilege of being able to vote in something like this, the least you can do is at least watch the dang old movie. They probably giving it to you for free anyway to go watch it. It's all they're asking for is time. Just your time. You have a huge responsibility. Could you imagine putting all your time, effort, and all this stuff into a film, and just for the simple recognition, people are like, nah, I don't even feel like watching it. This is one of the reasons why to this day, I was still so furious when Academy Award winners, voters literally refused to watch Get Out. When Jordan Peele first hit the scene, they did not want to watch Get Out. So then we're sitting here wondering, like, yo, why didn't Jordan Peele? Get Out should have been an Oscar Award nominated film, at least. It probably should have won. But the fact that y'all didn't even take the time to watch it, it's a disgrace. And to me, it's ridiculous that you even have this privilege, this position, this power, and you don't take that responsibility seriously. What do they say? With great power comes great responsibility. Like, you literally change people's lives in your industry. Okay, because this is the Academy is really all the actors, directors, producers. It's all the people in the business. You have that power to change one of your peers' lives, and you don't even take the time to watch their stuff. Just give up your status. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just walk away. Let the people that actually care about this actually do it. I mean, this is all just a big self-pat on the back type of deal anyway, but what are y'all doing? So kudos, I guess, on the Academy for actually making this a rule now. Like, saying that this is overdue is an understatement. Like I honestly, I don't even know if I would have wanted this to be put out there because it's pretty embarrassing that this wasn't a standard to begin with. That's sad. Anyway, guys, y'all let me know, how do you feel about this brand new crazy rule that people will actually have to watch the movies that they vote for? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Um, can we talk about Delroy Lindo? Delroy Lindo, in case you did not know, is a phenomenal actor. I love Delroy. He is such a great actor. I got a chance to talk to him a couple times. Y'all saw my interview with Sinners. And yeah, like he has always been super insightful. He gives fantastic answers, well thought out. And recently he did get interviewed about why or what happened with Blade. If y'all recall, he was going to be a part of the Blade film with Mahershala Ali. And of course, that has been on pause. We don't know. Whatever has happened to it, we don't know. But he gave a little insight on what went down. And he says here, when Marvel came to me, they seemed to be really interested in my input and in the various conversations I had with producers, the writer, the director at the time. It was all leading into being very inclusive. It was really exciting conceptually, but it was so exciting. But it was also exciting in terms of the character that was going to form. And then, for whatever reason, it just went off the rails. Now, we know part of the reason is this was during a time they got hit with the pandemic. Marvel started focusing on on the Disney Plus stuff. Quality control went down the hole. Kevin Feige was rushing through all these different projects that Disney was basically forcing everybody to come out with, and Marvel was not ready. And Blade fell through the cracks. Let's just be honest about that. Blade was not a priority. I mean, I know Kevin Feige says he wants to make it and he still wants it to be really great and all that, but let's be honest, it was not a priority. Okay, hold on. I want to make sure I say this. Everything that we have seen and heard reported so far has demonstrated to us that Blade is not a top priority for Marvel Studios. I'm not saying that they don't want to make the movie. I'm not saying that they don't believe it's important. I am saying that based off of what we've seen, the fact that movies that were announced way after Blade, which probably even had way more developmental processes than Blade, have been announced, have been developed, and are hitting theaters before Blade even has like a proof of concept. So it does come off as though this is not your top priority. Fantastic Four, oh, I know that's your top priority. Doomsday, Secret Wars, we know that's your top priority. Y'all put them on stage. Remember that? You put them on stage, right? You made the announcements. You couldn't contain the whole surprise. It was such a priority that you made a 5.5 hour video of showing us some chairs. Chairs. So we understand when you put your energy and your mind into something, you gonna make it happen. You want some more evidence of why Blade is clearly not a priority in Marvel? You mean to tell me that we can't do at least a cameo? The only thing we can get from Blade is a voice in Eternals that nobody cared about? Never got followed up? Nothing? Now, again, I understand making a movie is hard. Making a movie does have some hurdles and some challenges. Not saying that that doesn't happen. However, you mean to tell me even the character of Blade can't show up anywhere else? You couldn't have thrown him in a Disney Plus series real quick? You couldn't have had him shown up, I don't know, in Moon Knight maybe, or in Werewolf by Night? Werewolf by Night! Y'all couldn't have just let Mahershala just show up anywhere else? Blade is not a top priority for you guys. and your actions speak louder than words. That's the point I'm making. The actions or lack thereof speak way louder. So anyway, Lindo gives a little bit more insight also about his character of who he would have played. It says here Lindo was in line to play was seemingly a significant one. Um, Marcus Garvey-esque type of character who was respected in his community. He said, I'm not saying that it would have been an out and out Garveyite, not that, but just in terms of how this man's philosophy, his ethos, and what was driving him, he was a character who had, very similar to Sinners, created a community, a black community. He was a character who was the head of his community. Ah, man, that just lets me know that this Lindo was about to cook. That man was about to put something down, and it was going to be amazing. Because just the idea that, first of all, this was going to be a period piece. This was going to be something like in the past. Man, what could have been? What could have been? So anyway, Blade was not happening. I think we missed out on having Delroy Lindo grace the MCU with his presence. And I think they fumbled that bag. I hope they can get it back. I hope they can recoup. But yeah, this was not it. But anyway, guys, let me know, what do you think about what happened with Blade? What do you think about Lindo and his comments and the character we might have kind of maybe could have gotten? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Nelson, why Feige just let Coogler write and executive produce Blade? My guess is that, for one, Coogler already had projects tied up with Marvel. Remember, he was supposed to do that Okoye series and produce that. And he was obviously he's tied down to do Black Panther 3. But I think, based off of the timeline of events, they also didn't want to. I mean, Coogler wasn't available, right? Like, Coogler was like, I'm gonna go do me. I'm gonna go shop this Sinners movie around, and we'll talk about that. And whoever wants to get this, then we'll do that. So I think that this was a decision on Coogler to do his own thing, which it happens. Because, matter of fact, if you think back to Chadwick Boseman, he wanted to do his own movie right after Black Panther because it gave him the opportunity to lead a film and to executive produce his own film. And then after that, he was going to come back and do Black Panther 2. So Marvel had to respect that. They was just like, oh man, he wants to go do his own thing. Let him go do his own thing, and then he'll come back. So I think same case happened here with Coogler. He wanted to do his own thing. They let him do it, and that's it. Coogler, and here's the other thing. Coogler can't just do everything Black. And I know this is tempting. We're actually going to talk about this a little later, but I know it's very tempting to want one Black person to do everything, but it's like, we can't get trapped into that. It's very alluring because, yes, Ryan Coogler is amazing, but my goodness, it is. I will talk about it later, but he can't do everything. Like, hey, why can't Coogler do Blade? Yo, Coogler got to do that Michael B. Jordan Superman movie, right? Yo, Coogler's got to do Static Shock, right? Like, yo, Coogler might as well do that Miles Morales movie when that come out too. Like, yo, he can't do everything now. Okay, listen, somewhere out there, there's another Ryan Coogler. Somewhere out there, there's another Jordan Peele. We have to actually let them do their thing, right? We gotta be open to that too. So, but thank you for that, Nelson. I appreciate you. JN, Disney paused Blade due to it being too ethnic. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Thank you so much, Nelson. Seeing Snipes Blade in Deadpool 3 was it for Blade. I hope that's so not true. I hope it's not, but I hope that wasn't like, hey, here's the blade. Here you go. Mm-mm-mm. Ah, quiet one. What you got? Could have literally introduced Ali's blade in Deadpool and Wolverine and had two blades in the void. Snipes' blade could have stayed in the void like he did in the film. Ali's blade could have escaped and came out the void with them. Blueprint was right there. This is where the frustration comes in. When average fans, regular old day people can sit here and come up with the basic concepts that work. That works. That's so easy to do. You got a whole multiverse movie sitting right there, but y'all decided to bring Gambit. Y'all made a conscious decision. Nah, forget Mahershala Ali, who we promised people. Forget the guy who probably has bigger box office potential to do a solo movie and make us more money later. Let's bring in Gambit. That's the choice y'all make. Man, don't get me started. Don't get me started. I was about to say some other things. Don't get me started. All right, let's move on. We're gonna stay on Marvel a little bit. Let's talk about some Daredevil updates. So we just got done with Daredevil Born Again season 1. And with that, we covered it on here. And there were some things that happened in the series that I think might have been a little more obvious. Now, we talked about how prior to this, Marvel had already shot maybe, I don't know, 6, 7 episodes or something before Kevin Feige came in and was like, what the hell is this? Why is Matt not even in costume for like 4 or 5 episodes? What is this? And that's when they fired that team, and they brought in the team from the Netflix Punisher series and told them, okay, we need y'all to make this better. So what that meant was some of the stuff that was already shot, they weren't going to replace it. That's money already spent, time, energy. You're not about to go redo that. So they did end up instead reshooting some things. They reintroduced characters that weren't there, like Foggy wasn't there, Karen wasn't there, Vanessa wasn't there. Like, they brought all those characters back. So we get a little bit more insight here. And I believe this is from the showrunner. And he says here, like, the opening scene in Daredevil Born Again, which definitely looks reshot, but it was very good. Before the creative overhaul, we finally found out what it was. And it says it was Matt in the outfit. He then pulled off his mask, and he was just so unbelievably sad, crying, and all that. Then he dropped the mask, and that was the whole scene. Yikes. Shout out to reshoots, because if you watch that first episode, it was done pretty well. We had Bullseye, we had the drama with Foggy, like, that was pretty good. We had the whole little hallway scene going up the stairs and all that. You mean to tell me y'all was about to open up this whole franchise, this new season, with Matt on a roof taking off his mask and just crying? Yeah, I'm glad y'all fired whoever was in charge. No. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but that was a good move to move past that. Now, moving forward, we do have a little bit more, and I'm gonna try not to spoil it in case people haven't seen it. But mild spoiler alert if you still haven't seen it. So we'll see. As we know, the season ended with Matt facing a huge challenge with Wilson Fisk as the mayor, and he's got all this power. So Matt, of course, he's got to figure out how does he challenge that. And if you remember in that final scene, it looked like he was, trying to get the people going, right? So of course, I think we all thought the same thing. The first thing that pops into our heads is like, yo, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Danny Rand. Are those characters in the showrunner's head as you map out season 2 for the future of Daredevil, right? Are we getting defenders? And Dario says here, when you're working in what I would call the Hell Kitchen corner of the MCU, those iconic characters are always in your mind. You want to bring in people and relationships and past figures in Matt's life because they've helped the story, particularly in terms of a story where Fisk has taken over the city and there is a resistance and a rebellion, so to speak, rising. So there's going to be people, vigilantes, superheroes that are involved in that. There has to be, because this is happening to their city. That said, you also want to create a completely organic story for that. So who comes in and why has to be beyond anything earned. So the easiest answer to your question is yes. Those characters that you just listed off are absolutely in my head and everybody's head as we're working. So, yes, just like us, they also have been thinking of the defenders. Now, we've heard nothing about whether or not Luke Cage will come back, Jessica Jones, or anybody else. The only ones we've heard, obviously, are Punisher. He is going to go ahead and have his own special coming up very soon, especially given the ending of Daredevil Born Again. But of course, guys, this brings up an even bigger question. You're talking about these characters are in your head and these are things that are on your mind. My only question is, has anyone been thinking about whether or not Finn Jones has been training? Y'all talking about Danny Rand. We heard Finn Jones talking about give me an effing chance. Has anyone thought about calling Finn Jones and saying, hey, man, just in case we bring you back, you might want to use this time to get back in the gym, get back in the dojo, something, and start training. It bothers me that every time we bring this up, people say he didn't have time to train. He had a hard schedule, and he couldn't train. When was the last time? When was the last time Iron Fist came out? What was the year? Let me see. Iron Fist debut date. What was it really? March 2017. March 2017. That was that's 8 years ago. 8 years ago. 9 if we include pre-production. 8 it's almost been a decade. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go. Let's go. Let's What's up? What's Finn Jones been up to? Let's see. Let's just check it out. Oh, still sleep. Still sleep. Still sleep. All right, Finn, what else you been doing? Oh, peekaboo. Peekaboo. My man pulling out the little peekaboo there. Okay, we seen him. We seen him swimming last time. Now he hit you with the lean. Oh, he got the Pat McAfee tank top now too. Okay. He got the little mean stare. Let me just see. Maybe it's buried in the picture somewhere. Maybe no, little more posing. No, he okay. He looking a little Paul Walker-ish right here. Little Paul Walker-ish. Okay, so hey, shout out to Mike Coulter. He liked it. Okay, sure. I don't see nothing iron fisty about this, man. What you doing? What are you doing? You playing peekaboo over here. So once again, I'm just you can't ask us to give you a chance. Hold on, because I need y'all to see this man sleeps. He wants us to give him a chance, but he be sleeping. He's been sleeping for 10 years. Almost 10 years. Why am I supposed to give you a chance? For what? Based on what? What am I giving you a chance for? I'm just saying, listen. I don't even care how you feel about him, right? Colin Kaepernick. He had his issues with the NFL, right? He wanted to still play, whatever you think about it, whatever. You still never questioned whether this man was working out or not. Why? Because he constantly posts videos of him throwing a football or going to the gym or being out on the field or doing something. Now, whether he's got it or not, that's a whole different question, but at least you could see evidence. I just want to know what he's doing. That's all. Like, it's time for someone to ask this question to him because I'm getting real tired of people just giving him this automatic pass. I'm tired of it. Don't ask me, hey, I want to be about your Iron Fist again, and you ain't show me nothing. Just show us something, man. Just one. Break a karate board or something. Do something. Anyway, hopefully the Defenders do come back in Daredevil. Maybe. If they do, recast Iron Fist. But anyway, guys, what do y'all think about what's going on with Daredevil? What do you think about the reshoots? What do you think about them bringing Defenders back? Should they bring them back? Should they not? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Boom, JN. Can we get a Jessica Jones, Luke Cage series? Sure, I'll be fine with that. I mean, it was Jessica Jones that had Luke Cage in it first, right? Or was that, did she show up in Luke Cage? I forget. But yeah, I'd take that. Let's go. I'd be down with that. Puma, shout out to Recast T'Challa Sr. Just do it. Blade. Yes, and yes. Thank you so much. I don't even know if I want to talk about this. Okay, we can talk about it. We'll talk about it real quick. Let's talk about Spidey's return. So this has obviously been something that has baffled audiences for years now, and that has been like, yo, what are we doing with Andrew Garfield? Right now, I have told y'all before, I like Andrew Garfield as an actor. I thought that he was probably one of the better Spider-Man portrayals, but not Peter Parker. And because of that, I still have to give all credit to the GOAT, Tobey Maguire, right? Like, that's the best, that's the GOAT Spider-Man for me. But I do think that Andrew got the short end of the stick when it comes to the movies. Like, I don't think, like, yeah, I might have had issues with his portrayal, but the movies were just not that good, right? First movie was all right, but second movie, it didn't do very well. It didn't live up to expectations. Let's put it that way. So, of course, when we saw Andrew in No Way Home, it was kind of like, see, he was never the problem. When you put Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man in a good story, it can work. So, of course, people was like, yo, Sony, what are you going to do? Bring this man back. You got a whole Venom, Spider-Man-less universe that needs a Spider-Man. Throw Andrew in there and you win. Meanwhile, Sony was just kind of like, why would we do that? We like Madam Web. We like failing with Craven. Look, here's another Venom movie that no one will care about. Like, I don't know why. And then we also found out that there was nothing contractually holding Sony back from just putting any Spider-Man in any movie. We thought, oh, maybe it was a Marvel thing. No. Sony owns them rights. Sony can do whatever they want with Spider-Man. Maybe not with Tom Holland, but overall, they can do whatever they want. And they still chose not to. Anyway, so Andrew Garfield was asked again, which he's been asked multiple times, would you come back as Spider-Man? And he had this to say here. He says, I really love playing Spider-Man. I would love to play the character again in some capacity, but I think it would have to be very weird. I think I would want to do something very strange. I would want to do something very unique and offbeat and surprising, kind of like the creative freedom that they have with the animated Spider-Verse movies. I think they're so great, and you can honor the character in so many different ways through the multiverse. All right, sir. I have a lot of respect for Andrew Garfield. I like him. He's a very nice guy. I met him one time, was cordial, all of that. Sir, please be quiet. Be quiet. And I say that out of the most respect and love for what you did with the character. Be quiet. We don't need some weird creative we just need you as Spider-Man. Just that's all. Just be another Spider-Man. Now, if you want to do a voiceover in the Across the Spider-Verse, cool, go do that. Just say that. But don't sit here playing around with folks talking about, I just want to be in an offbeat type of weird thing. That's not what people are looking for. Okay. If you gonna come back as Spider-Man, come back as Spider-Man. Live action, big screen, do your thing. But if you sit here talking about some weird quirky stuff, stop messing with us. You're wasting our time and you are fumbling your own potential bag. Because I want you to succeed. I want you to get that bag. It's just sometimes, man, they just be saying things like, where's your agent? You should be like, man, I'd love to play Spider-Man. I love to put those tights on and be on the big screen. And you know what? I'd love to go fight Venom. Like, say that. Get the people going. I'm not trying to go see no quirky Andrew Garfield and some weird creative thing. What? Sir, I want to see you out there like on the big screen just like before. Anyway. So, y'all let me know. How do you feel about Andrew's comments? Do you want Andrew back as Spider-Man? Do you think they should move on? I mean, they can. We do have a multiverse. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Mike, what you got? Yeah, it's been a lot of people that deserve that. Spinning smack. Oscars, Finn, Blade creators, recast the slap. Yes. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that so much for the support, and you are not wrong. You are not wrong. Let's see what else we got. Okay, let's talk about this. I'm not even gonna call it that. I'm gonna call it this. I want to talk about Black heroes. We just got done talking about Blade. And we actually have some news here about John Boyega. So John Boyega recently was on on the Josh Horowitz show, and he had a nice little story about the MCU. Now we've been talking about like, yo, can he come in and he could play Kang? He already said he didn't want to play Kang, but he had another character that he was interested in. And it says here that John Boyega says Kevin Feige once asked him who he'd want to play in the MCU, but he didn't have an answer. He now says he'd be interested in playing Bishop. Now, I'm not mad at this. I mean, like, John Boyega, I think he could play Bishop. Like, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. That's going to be a very interesting wig that they're going to have to put on him, though, because Bishop got that fine hair. I'm not saying fine as in cute. I mean, his hair is fine, right? Clearly, I think people miss the fact Bishop has to be biracial because his sister is also biracial, too. You're not just going to come out with curly hair like this. You're not going to have them curly, non-nappy hair like that. Bishop does not have locks. I think people thought he had locks. He ain't got locks. Forget what Fox showed you. This man got the long, silky hair. Okay. So anyway, I'm here for this, right? If John Boyega wants to play Bishop, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with it. But I have to say, incoming rant, it started to trigger me a little bit. I was like, just dang. Why is it that whenever these actors come up with an actor or character, it's like the same conversation over and over again? Let me give you another example. Sinners just came out, right? And don't get me wrong, Sinners, fantastic. And I'm guilty of this too. The young actress that played in there, Jamie Lawson, right? She played the girl that Preacher Boy was all infatuated with, right? Moment I saw her, I was like, dang. Yeah, I could see her as Storm. What did the internet say? Boom, Jamie Lawson, Storm. And again, not a bad pick at all. She's got the looks, she can act. You know, I don't know if she could do an African accent, but I think she's talented enough. Sure, right? And it just really started to get me thinking about like how limited this stuff can get, you know? And then, hold on, we actually got another one before I go into my rant. Sinners, stay with Sinners. Miles Canton, he said his next goal is to join the MCU. And he said, well, my name is Miles, insinuating, implying that he would like to play Miles Morales. Now, sir, hold on. Fantastic job in Sinners. But I'm going to need us to kind of pull back a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, I don't know Miles's full family ethnicity, but sir, you come off as black. You come off as authentic, natural, only African straight black. You look like a Wakandan. Okay. Now, you know, they trying to grow up T'Challa Jr. Maybe, if they want to do it, maybe. But let's leave Miles to the Afro-Latino Puerto Rican community. Let's let them have that, because that is very central to his identity and his character. Okay. Now, I don't think Miles has got the Latino side in him. I don't think he does. But all I'm saying is that's very important for Miles's character. Let them have that. Okay. Let the Black and Latino population have that representation. But this goes back to my original point. What bothers me, and this is not just Marvel. It's not just Marvel. It bothers me that when we see a dark sister, right? We see a dark sister in a movie. First thing y'all gonna say, man, she should play Storm. How often do we say this? The first thing. Or, I mean, yeah, the black men have a couple more options, right? Man, he could be great as Blue Marvel. Man, he could be great as Blade. Man, he could be, you know, this, that. But it's kind of like, it's just so frustrating how we always have these conversations because of how limited these characters have been portrayed and how limited these characters are, how little they exist. Now, here's the problem. It's not like Marvel or DC don't have black characters. The problem is the fact that they don't get elevated. Let me just just answer this for me. Why haven't we seen Darwin ever again? Y'all remember Darwin? Darwin got played in X-Men First Class, right? We ain't never seen Darwin was played so bogus. No justice. We ain't never seen him in any type of iteration. We haven't seen him in any type of like animated stuff, just nothing. And it's kind of like, well, all we can get is Miles, Bishop, and Storm. That's the only conversations we can have, and maybe Blade, but we ain't never gonna see Blade at this point. And rather than elevate the already established black characters, hey, let's go make Wonder Man black. I didn't ask for that. I don't want that. What are we talking about? So it just frustrates me because I look at things like DC. You sitting there, you had a whole TV show that was relatively popular with Blue Lightning. Where are your black characters, James Gunn, that are leading a solo movie? Because I'm sorry, doing an ensemble or throwing a black character as a supporting aid over there on the side, that's not the same type of energy that these white characters usually get. And we know it's been proven that you can have success with black characters if you just give them the right push. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. Let's look at Black Panther. Black Panther didn't just come off the scene with a solo movie. No, they tested the waters by putting him in Civil War first. When we got Black Panther in Civil War, there was genuine excitement. There was a fervor. There was fever. People was like, yo, who is that? I need to know what this is. An African king that's giving Bucky and Cap them hands, putting them paws on them dudes. Who is that? We want to see more of that. And then that excitement translated into an authentic black-led made movie, only made you $1.3 billion. That's how you take a black character, you give them an opportunity, you test the waters, and then you accelerate it, right? And here's the thing. I don't know about y'all, but prior to Civil War happening, I didn't see Black Panther nowhere except the comics. But after he debuted in Civil War, I saw the intergalactic, Empire story coming out. All of a sudden, Ta-Nehisi Coates was doing a story. I saw him in the animated TV series more. I saw Black Panther everywhere after that little bit of exposure. It's almost like he had a rejuvenating experience. But that just let me know, if you give these black characters an opportunity, but here's the thing, you also have to have enough insight to know this one is going to work. I'm not saying this in a negative way, but when Ironheart showed up in Wakanda Forever, I did not hear a lot of excitement behind her character. I'm not saying she was bad. I'm just saying I did not see a spark that would have the same momentum that T'Challa Black Panther had when he went from Civil War to his own movie. So now you about to sit here and make an Ironheart series, and I don't hear any real buzz about that, like at all. Same way, Sam Wilson has been here since Winter Soldier. Where was the outcry for, can't wait for that Captain America? Like, nobody was sitting here asking for that. I mean, it was cool that he was Falcon, but no one was like, oh man, this is going to be the real buzz. And yes, of course, we're going to support a black man, being on screen, being Cap. Yeah, we got that. But the same momentum wasn't there. And if y'all recall, there was a whole Hollywood Reporter article that said, or maybe it was a Variety, that said Marvel Studios believed that Captain America, 4 with Sam Wilson, was going to be their new Black Panther. What? That lets me know you guys are completely out of touch with the black community. If you thought Sam No Hands Wilson was going to be your next Black Panther, you don't know the black community. The moment we heard news about Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, this, that, or whatever, vampires, Jim Crow era, you could feel something was there. You knew something was there. There was nothing there for Cap. There was nothing there for Ironheart. And that just lets me know y'all don't have enough black folks high enough to help you out and let you know this can be successful. That will not. And here's the problem. When you sit here and put out stuff that no one asked for, that there's no buzz behind, that only reinvigorates that whole myth that black don't sell. And then when black don't sell, guess what? We're regulated to only the same 4 or 5 characters, Storm, Bishop, and that's it. And we don't get the opportunity to explore things like Blue Marvel. How long have we been talking about Blue Marvel having that opportunity to be a dope solo movie? Are you kidding me? Like, Static Shock. Like, if Across the Spider-Verse was not proof positive enough that a Static Shock movie could work, I don't know what could. So I'm sorry. I had to kind of get that off my chest because it saddens me that we don't have enough black representation when there are a plethora of black characters that exist that we could do things with, right? There are black characters in the X-Men. There are black characters in Wakanda. There are black characters in DC. There are a lot of black characters that if they just got the right opportunity, we know we can do billions. But anyway, that was all. I just wanted to get it off my chest. Sure, I'm down for Boyega playing Bishop. If Jamie wants to play Storm, down with that. Miles, nah, bro. You cannot be Miles. I'm sorry. That ain't no thank you. No thank you. I love you singing, brother. Love the singing, but not that. All right. But you guys let me know, what do you think about all that stuff I talked about in the comments down below. Oh, Marquise, what you got? The change in tune is interesting. Remember Boyega, given previous comments, need to see his soul glow Jerry curl first. Yeah, that'll be interesting. How they potentially do it. I do agree that if you are going to do Bishop now, you might as well put him in locks. I'm just saying, the way he's been portrayed, my man's got the soul glow. Yes, like he's that's not his regular hair. Don't let the X-Men from Fox fool you. But thank you so much for that. Riker, what you got here? Just saw Sinners in IMAX. Phenomenal. 9 out of 10. Also, have you watched Andor season 1 yet? About that new. If not, I'm unsubbing. Just joking. And Andor was the best Star Wars show in my opinion. Yeah, I can't comment. Listen, maybe I could try. I have not been able to make it past episode 3. Every time I try to get past episode 3, I fall asleep. Like, I will try one day. We'll see. Right now, I'm on Solo Leveling, so that has my attention, and I still need to watch Severance. I just watched The Last of Us, and we still got to cover that. We will cover that. Oh my God, we're gonna cover that. Oh my God. But yeah, so Andor, I'd be lying if I said it was top of the list. I'd be lying. Natalie, come through. Better late than never. Oh, for sure. Thank you. Welcome. Let's see. Quiet one. Hollywood still believes black leading action superhero movies won't sell domestic and internationally unless it's streets and slaves movies. And by the way, Method Man also publicly stated he wanted to play Bishop. Yes, Method Man has stated that. I'm personally kind of over it though. Like, he's been trying to play Bishop for years. I would actually prefer somebody else to play Bishop now. Only because he's getting older, right? He is getting a little bit older. Still looks great for his age. Don't get me wrong. But I think that if you're going to invest in a character like Bishop, let's be honest, Bishop is not going to get solo movies. He's only going to be featured here and there. So that means to me, you need somebody that's going to be around for a while as well. I would just want somebody a little younger. That's all. I think they had a great opportunity to make him Bishop when Fox had him. Like, that was the perfect time when he was auditioning, when he was campaigning. That was a perfect time to make Method Man, Bishop. But I don't know. I think the boat has sailed. I think, but now we'll see. But I wish all good things for Method Man. Very good guy. Cool. Met him. Wonderful. Quiet one. I think it's crazy why I think that's why Blade and Armor Wars got shelved. Maybe. Now I will say Blade actually is that property that has that juice behind it. There is an interest for Blade. There will be, I think Blade will do what Sinners is doing, if not more. Like, we're just waiting to give Blade all of our money. Armor Wars, I can't say the same. To me, Armor Wars is in the similar boat as Cap 4. It's on the similar boat as Ironheart, maybe even Wonder Man. I love Don Cheadle as an actor. I love this man. He's so talented. I'm not checking for Rhodey like that. I don't care. Like, when they said it was going to be a TV show, I was like, oh, okay, I guess. And then they wanted to make it a movie? A Rhodey movie? Really? Yeah, I don't know. I think that was just another case of not being able to read the room. Like, you don't know what's going to get the people going. Because listen, when you can get the black audiences going, that's what triggers what's cool, right? Because we're a minority. The definition of cool literally is what is against the status quo. So if black folks love something, oh, you better believe that's going to get the other folks from all the other communities interested and be like, oh, what's cool over there, huh? Yeah, okay. Like, so, but this ain't it. This ain't Armor Wars was not it. Blade, yes. Armor Wars, not so much. Natalie, what you got? Not a Mackie Stray already. What happened with it? Wasn't a Mackie Stray. I was just saying with Sam. It was Sam. I be talking about the characters. Why you gotta put Mackie in this? I was just talking about the characters. I don't see what the problem is. JN, Cat 4 was sanitized like most black-led films. That is also a big problem. I remember I got heat for that. I got heat. Oh, man, they already talked about race in the TV show. I'm like, what? Everybody don't watch the TV show? The whole character is about a black man representing America, and y'all think that it's just fine and dandy? What world is that? That I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Stagger, what you got? Would you like to see DC eventually make a proper Steel movie? So Shaq already really put a terrible taste in our mouths with that last movie. Like, that was a bad and lasting impression. Could you make a Steel movie? Maybe. You got to also think about like the popularity level of the character. I'll give you an example. I didn't watch the show, but it was the latest Superman. What was it? Superman and Lois or whatever it was. It was the newest Superman TV show that came out, was getting a lot of good hype, a lot of good attention. Steel was featured in there, and he had a great run. Like, I haven't even watched the show, but I heard about it because that was so good. So I would say, no, I don't think they need to make a Steel movie, but if you featured Steel in something, that would be cool. Maybe even the Lantern series, maybe even in Supergirl. If you want to bring Steel into that, I think that will work. But a Steel movie, and I put it to you like this, I don't trust DC to know what to do with a Steel movie. I don't think they would get it. I don't think they would hire the right people for it. I don't trust them to do that. I'm already leery about them doing a Static Shock movie properly. Are you gonna hire the right writers, the right director? Are you gonna be okay if they say some things that might be a little uncomfortable? Like, I don't know if I trust DC right now to have that insight to make it work. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no on a Steel movie. But thank you for the question. I appreciate you. JN, DC could make a Black Lightning film with 35 million. They absolutely could. There was already the TV show. It showed interest. They could definitely do that. Yes. Trevante Rhodes as Steel, Ava DuVernay to direct. I'm gonna pass on that too. I'm a humbly pass. I'm a humbly pass. Shout out to Ava. Love Ava. Trevante's great too. I'm gonna pass. Now, if Trevante wants to play Steel, cool. But I'm gonna pass. All right. Oh boy. Where Natalie at? We got a Doomsday update from Avengers Doomsday from y'all boy, none other than Captain America himself. What a transition. Of course, we are always looking for anything and anything, everything and anything about what we can expect from an Avengers movie. And Anthony Mackie, of course, has some insight that he wanted to share about what we can expect from Avengers Doomsday. He says here that it's one of those stories that really pushes the boundaries, and the cliffhanger at the end, the last moments of the film, it really builds and sets us up for a way for the continuation of the Marvel saga, which is really exciting. So it sounds like we're going down the same path. I'm sorry, somebody told me to remember my tone. It sounds like we're going the same path that we went down with Avengers Infinity War. So with that, oh my gosh, that cliffhanger is probably going to be really, really cool. And we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen at the end. It's going to leave us wanting more with all the suspense and all the fun. I like black people. Okay. Is that good? We good? All right. So in addition to this, Mackie has also said something that I think a lot of us probably suspected. He says here, you see these characters and you see how they're introduced and how they play in the universe moving forward, and no one is safe. Everyone is expendable. Well, here's the thing. I am more than positive that is what we will see. This is my little prediction for Doomsday. Everybody finna die. We're gonna have the vast majority of people dying. You're gonna have, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doomsday, Dr. Doom. He gonna be running around in the multiverse, killing all these different versions of Avengers, killing all these different versions of heroes. Okay. This is why you have the multiverse. You have the multiverse because you're able to do this without really having stakes. It doesn't matter if you go kill off Captain America from Earth 5121, right? It doesn't matter if you sit here and you kill Captain Marvel from Earth 2217, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I think he's absolutely right that everybody's going to be expendable. They're probably going to kill a whole bunch of people. My guess is that you will actually see more actors or characters that have expiring contracts. Now, remember, the Russo brothers did say that they have baseball cards of all the actors and their contracts. So they're like, oh, we ain't signing you after this. Bet. Gone. So I'm of the opinion, Hawkeye, out of here. We already got your replacement with Kate Bishop. Rhodey, Armor Wars, out of here. Don Cheadle, you 50, 60 some years old. Damn. Sorry. You out of here. Like, a lot of these characters and these actors that ain't going nowhere They going somewhere, and it's out of here. So I believe him. I believe him. Mackie said they all expendable and they all finna go. I believe that is actually what's gonna happen. So I don't know, guys. What do you think about Avengers Doomsday? What do you think about these characters being expendable? What do you think about this big cliffhanger? Which to me, cliffhanger just means Doctor Doom is gonna win, right? Thanos won in Infinity War. Doctor Doom is gonna win in Doomsday, and we just have to wait to see how the heroes come together and fix all this. All right, fine. Y'all let me know, what do you think in the comments down below. Kat, do you see Ryan Coogler directing the new Black Panther? I think I do. Call it a wild hunch, but I do believe Ryan Coogler already said that he will be directing Black Panther 3. And Marvel's already announced that he is going to do it. But they're waiting for him after Sinners. So yes, he will. Yes. Let's see. Nelson read that Thor will get a send-off as well. Fine. Bye. Like, okay. I mean, I like Thor. I don't like how he's been portrayed. I don't like how he's been written recently, but all right, cool. Marlon Marr, Jonathan Majors as Icon. Yes, I think that's a easy slam dunk. Like, that's, to me, is just as good as Aldous Hodge playing T'Challa. That's just as good as Jason Momoa playing Lobo. Like, yes, like, he looks like the character. He obviously can act. Easy pick. Easy pick. Quiet one. Do you think the lackluster portrayal of Black heroes in the MCU is faulted by the lack of Black execs in the room, lack of Black writers, or the actors' portrayal of the comic characters? All of the above. I would say it starts at the top. It could be all of the above, but it starts at the top. And the reason why I say that is because you have people, and I don't really want to cite them too much, but you have people like Bo DeMayo, right? Who gave us probably the most flavorful X-Men we've ever seen in X-Men 97, right? But even with that, if you listen to a lot of his rants and things that he complains about, he was getting a lot of pushback from Marvel, who I'm assuming the execs were not of Black, ethnicity. So I would say that a lot of it starts from the top, because if you think about it, the people are at the top. They're the ones that are going to have to relinquish power and empower others to do what's authentic to them. The best case scenario we've ever seen with Marvel is Black Panther. They said, man, we want Kevin Feige. He fought for it now. He fought for Black Panther. He said, yo, get this guy, Ryan Coogler, Fruitvale Station, Creed. Let's get this guy, and we just going to let him do his thing. Black Panther was so bold. It was so authentically Black. You clearly can tell that they stepped back. Now, even though we find out that, the Disney execs were shooketh, with the African accents and non-English accents and probably other stuff, the executives still had to allow that stuff to just go and trust the creators to do what they needed to do. So I'm going to say, before we look at the actors, before we look at the writers, you have to look at the executives, because they're the ones that are going to green light and gatekeep what can happen and what cannot. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. All right, let's move on. I think we got to talk about Star Wars. So we had a bunch of Star Wars things happening. It was Star Wars Celebration. Unfortunately, I did not get the invite this time, but it was cool because I got to go to WrestleMania, so I'll take that trade-off. But this did happen in Japan. Man, I don't know about y'all, but like some of the announcements, I don't know. Like, it seemed like they just confirmed more things that have already been reported, which is great. At least you confirm these things. But at the same time, they didn't really have a lot of traction. I guess. I don't know. But one of the things that was talked about was the movies that were announced previously, that James Mangold and Charmine and Taika Waititi, those movies are still happening, supposedly. And we're going to get another trilogy by Simon Kinberg. All this stuff is, so we're getting those 3 movies and another trilogy all together. First of all, this is the problem that we have with Star Wars. And the problem is the fact that we have trust issues because y'all say that these things are going to happen. But are they? You sure? Because you've told us a lot of other stuff was going to happen that never happened either. You told us a lot. Oh, Ryan Johnson going to make a movie. Oh, this guy going to do a movie. Oh, this man. Oh, man, we're going to have movies for days. And it's 2025. Last Star Wars movie we saw was in 2018. Okay, you've announced maybe 15 different movies since that time and nothing has transpired. So, yes, we have trust issues at this point. And on top of that, like Simon Kinberg, like, yeah, I don't know if y'all know. Like, I think I've told y'all. Let me pull him up. I think I've told y'all about Simon Kinberg. Like, Simon Kinberg used to work at Fox, and he's the guy that's been responsible for all of those X-Men movies. X-Men, The Last Stand, trash. Dark Phoenix, terrible. X-Men Apocalypse, even worse. I mean, yeah, he's had a couple others, Days of Future Past, cool, First Class, all right, But this man has, this is who I call Bizarro Kevin Feige, because Kevin Feige has more hits than he has misses, right? But this dude got more misses. I would say deeper misses than he has hits. And y'all gonna put him in charge of all of them Star Wars movies? A whole trilogy? You're not gonna let him test the waters first? What favor does he owe? Or what do y'all what somebody owed a favor here? Because I can't, there's nothing on his resume that would say, you know what? Let me hand over $1 billion franchise. It's not even $1 billion. Star Wars movies make almost $2 billion. Y'all about to put $6 billion in the hands of Bizarro Kevin Feige? This is why I have trust issues. This is why. Beyond that, we also got a little bit of, we got our first look at Rory McCann as Balin Skull in Ahsoka season 2, and he's going to replace the late Ray Stevenson, who of course passed away in 2013. So yeah, I like that. Got recast and everything. Looks, it works. He was the Mountain. No, he wasn't the Mountain. He was the Mountain's brother um in Game of Thrones. But hey, shout out to recasting, right? So we got a first look for that. Then, of course, like, I guess the bigger news was Ryan Gosling. The Hound. Thank you. He was the Hound. I knew it was dog. I forgot. But yeah, we got Ryan Gosling, Sean Levy. They're doing their new Star Wars movie. I still don't get what y'all see in Ryan Gosling. I don't get it. But this is going to be set 5 years after The Rise of Skywalker. I'm sorry, that was in 2019. I said 2018. And it's going to come out May 28th, 2027. It is not a prequel. This is not a sequel. It's a new adventure. Okay. And I believe it is called Starfighter. Okay. Like I have nothing to be excited about here. I like Sean Levy, good director. He just did Deadpool and Wolverine, solid. Um, People like Ryan Gosling, so I guess that's something. Um, but for me, when it comes to Star Wars, I get more excited with the concepts than I do who's gonna show up in it or who's writing it. Like I don't care, right? I almost got excited when I heard J.J. Abrams was gonna do, the last movie in the trilogy, but look how that turned out. So I don't care. But we'll see. Maybe they'll drop a dope trailer or something. I don't know. There is going to be a new animated series. Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord will release in 2026. This is going to follow Darth Maul navigating life before the events of Star Wars Rebels, including training a Padawan. So that could be pretty interesting. I mean, everybody likes Darth Maul, especially in Clone Wars. He had a pretty good run. So yeah, it's saying it's coming to Disney Plus 2026. And what else? We have Sam Witwer is revealed that he's gonna come back and do this. In case you did not know, he's the voice of Darth Maul, and this man is probably a bigger nerd of Star Wars than Dave Filoni. Like I think he's like one of the only people on record to actually correct Dave Filoni about Star Wars anything. So if you a bigger nerd than Dave Filoni, you love you some Star Wars. So he's coming back. It says here that Whitwer revealed that the series takes place about a year after the Clone Wars. So he's dusting himself off a bit after Ahsoka kicked him to the curb. We learned some different things about his character. He's got some different traits that you wouldn't necessarily think he has that make perfect sense from what he's been through. So listen, if Whitwer stands by this, I'm with it. They haven't let me down with the animated stuff yet. So I'm with it. I'm with that. I'm more excited about the Darth Maul animated project than I am this Ryan Gosling thing or whatever. So y'all let me know, what did you think about the updates from Star Wars Celebration? Personally, I think they were a little lackluster. I think at this point, Star Wars needs to stop announcing things and they need to just go ahead and drop stuff. Like, you can't keep dragging this stuff on for years and have nothing to show for it. You need to do something. So we'll see if they will or not. I'm not sure. But you guys let me know, what do you think about the Star Wars Celebration news? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. But before we get off of this, we have to talk. I didn't wear this for no reason. Y'all know I have been a staunch advocate for justice for Mace Windu. Mace Windu has been portrayed famously by the legendary and amazing Sam Jackson. And in case you forgot, in the Star Wars prequels, he was defeated. Well, Anakin cheated, but he was pushed out a window, fell down, and we just never heard from him ever again. Now, since that time, we have seen Mace Windu, or I'm sorry, we've seen other characters like Darth Maul, Palpatine. We've seen other characters fall and come back. But for some reason, Mace Windu, who was like the number 2 strongest Jedi at the time, just died. Like that was it. So Sam Jackson has been on record multiple times saying he wants to come back. Nothing. I don't know what else it takes, but there was some hope. There was a little bit of hope, and it was like in the old interview, I think that he had mentioned how he was talking to Bryce Dallas Howard, because she had directed some episodes of The Mandalorian, very good episodes too. And he was like, "Yo, like, what's up? Like, hook a brother up." And now we have a little bit of traction, of what could happen with Mace Windu. Um, so Bryce Dallas Howard, it says here that Sam Jackson has been incredibly supportive of me, Bryce Dallas Howard, and has told me many times that he would act in something that I directed, which is like, I'm not worthy, basically. And she goes on to say, and then I went straight to Dave Filoni. And I was like, so let's just talk about Mace Windu and where he is. Can we just talk about this? Because is he dead? Is he? Listen, I have done what I could. I've talked to one or two actors that were in Star Wars, and I've asked them, like, please go talk to Dave Filoni, go talk to Jon Favreau. We need Mace Windu back. Like, bring him back. I love the fact that Bryce remembered this. I love the fact that she went straight to the decision makers, because this is the conversation that is worthy to be had. Listen, if somehow Palpatine could return, if somehow Darth Maul could be cut in half, fall to his doom, and still come back, why the hell can't Mace Windu? And Sam has brought this up. Says here, definitely, there's a huge history of people with one hand returning in Star Wars. Luke. The only person I've ever said that to about coming back was Bryce Dallas Howard, because I just saw, because I just did a movie with her, and she directs episodes of The Mandalorian. So you think you might be able to hook a brother up. I mean, you like me, right? She's like, I love you. You're amazing. So put me back in there, right? Put me in, coach. I'm ready. I'll learn the lightsaber left-handed. Come on, hook me up. Yes. Yes, Sam. Thank you. And he goes on to say, it's like, okay, Obi-Wan was dead when episode 4 started, so maybe everyone thinks I'm dead, and we'll find out what happened to Mace Windu. I can come back as a one-armed or one-handed Jedi that's still around that didn't actually die. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's like, I don't want to say this because I don't want to speak it into existence, but I feel like it needs to be said. If Disney, Lucasfilm, Star Wars, time is limited. Sam Jackson is not going to be here forever. Sam Jackson is a walking legend in Hollywood. If y'all can't find a way to bring Mace Windu back, I will never forgive y'all for that. Like, I just won't, because there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Y'all could sit here and bring him back in the Mandalorian TV show. You could bring him back, I don't know, in Ahsoka or something. Like, y'all couldn't do whatever you want. But if y'all let Sam Jackson not be able to make it, that to me will also be a huge fumble. It'd be a huge fumble. First of all, y'all already have a diversity problem in the first place. Y'all think that, oh, but we put an orange person on the screen. Oh, but they're black, but they're under green makeup. No. The same way y'all got no problem featuring white men and white women on your thing. You could put a black face up there as a lead character too, by the way. Not a supporter, not a supporting character. And we know you love your Billy D. Williams. We know you got your little Mace Windu having 2 lines. We know that hits the little baseline check mark of diversity for some of y'all. But I'm saying it's okay. It's okay. Sam Jackson is qualified. Y'all could actually give him a look. The same thing y'all did with Boba Fett without the nonsense that you did with Boba Fett. Y'all could do that with Mace Windu. You mean to tell me we're not gonna show up for Sam Jackson in the solo series of Mace Windu's return? Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, I support Mace Windu coming back. I support anything and everything Sam Jackson wants to do with the role. Lucasfilm, Star Wars, y'all need to get it together. Get it together. Make it happen. Stop the excuses. Mace Windu can come back in any way, shape, or form. Period. Anyway, y'all let me know, what do you think about Bryce Dallas Howard at least getting the conversation going? What do you think about Sam Jackson still being for it? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Before we get to the last main topic, I wanted to talk about the Predator because I was away and I did not get a chance to see it. I saw that, we had the animated movies that was coming out on Hulu, but Predator Badlands finally dropped the trailer. Now I have not watched it yet because I was on, I was working, I was doing the other stuff. So I do want to see it. Hold on, let me see if I can grab it real quick. I think I have it. I should have it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Where is it? Hold on. Slow down. Okay. So I do want to watch this. I don't know. I know that some people have been talking about it. I don't know how good or not it is, but y'all know how we got to get down first. All right. So let's go ahead and check this out. Predator Badlands. And this is made by the same guy who did Prey. Same director.
I didn't think you survived. You're hunting something that can't be killed.
They got a brother predator. They got a brother as a predator. All right. Say less. I'm here for it. They got a black predator. Are they all black? I don't know. I feel like he a brother. Yeah. Y'all not gonna have. Let me see. You're not gonna look at this. You're not gonna give him the locks and the melanated skin and tell me that ain't a brother predator. Now I feel compelled to support. How the Predator gonna have the same? And what's up with this? Hold on, can I make this bigger? What is up with this? This looks like the scene from Predator 2. Is there an alien head here? Because remember with the Danny Glover and the spaceship? I have not done a side by side, so I don't know. Is this the same spaceship that came to New York in Predator 2? Because if it is, we know a xenomorph is there somewhere. What else was there? Okay, so what is up with old girl? So I guess the question is, like, where is she? Yeah, like is she an android? You know, because we saw her eyes like roll back. Yeah, like yeah, where is it? Right there. She a robot, right? But now that's making me wonder, like, is this the crossover? Is this the crossover that yes, Alien and Predator officially are in the same universe? Is this a Wayland Tech android, or is this I don't know, something that they're doing to humans? Like maybe she is a human, and whatever they got her tied up to right here is a something I don't know. But hey, if it connects to Alien, fine. You know, that's cool. Um, I would have hoped that they would have done it in a different way, or at least kept it more of a surprise. You know, like don't show it to us in the trailer. Um, but yeah, listen, I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm here for it. I want to see this. I love all of these movies regardless, so I will be there. But what did y'all think about the Predator trailer? How did you feel about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Stagger, what you got? Disney Plus should develop a Windu series. Totally agree. I'd be fine with that. I would be very okay with that. Like the reason why, I don't think people realize this dude was like the number two. The number one was Yoda, right? Yoda was that alien. We don't know what he was. Yoda was that guy, right? Mace Windu was right there. And the thing that always stood out to me was the fact that he was one of the few Jedi that knew how to balance the dark side and the light side, at the same time. And that's what made him so powerful. Like, and we never really got to see enough of it. I mean, he was giving Palpatine that business. If Anakin didn't come in, like Palpatine was about to die. So yes, I would take that. Quiet one. And if they blow this opportunity for Mace Windu's return before we lose this legend, they're not allowed to CG his face on an actor. Hell no. Hell no. And something tells me that I don't think Sam would allow something like that. I don't think he would. Um yeah, I get the feeling that he wouldn't do that. But I would totally do it. Like in terms of watching a series for him or something like that, I'm here for it. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's get into the last main topic, and it is about scurrying Hollywood. Yikes! Yikes! Here we go again. Here we go again. Hollywood is out here getting scurred. But before we talk about why they scurred, can we talk about like some good stuff? Like Sinners. Sinners is out here doing things, right? Sinners has gotten an A+ on Cinema Score. I've told y'all about Cinema Score. That is the people. That's not the critics. That's not the press. That's not the media. That is the regular, everyday people. The second you walk out of a theater, what did you think about the movie? That movie just got an A. And think about this, okay? When you think about this is a rated R movie, which already is limiting the audience. It's a black film, heavily black themed, created, all of that, limiting the audience even more. And it's a horror movie. Because y'all know y'all some scaries out there. That's even more limiting. So the fact that this is getting all that with those factors is huge. It's got a 4.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. And please let me correct some of y'all right now, because I've seen the comments and some of y'all don't know what you're talking about. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes does not mean the movie is a perfect 10 out of 10. That's not what it means. It just means that the 98% of the reviews that came out were a 6 and higher, right? So all them people, all 80 something critics or whoever, 98% gave a 6 or higher rating, and that's what qualifies to be fresh. So they could have all given them 6s out of 10s, and it would still be 98% fresh. All right. Number one at the domestic box office. Number one, this black led film, this horror, this rated R film, number one in the box office. It is the best reviewed wide release of this decade. In the last 10 years, it is the biggest domestic opening for an original film this decade. I need y'all to understand, an original film that's not an IP, it's not some big franchise. This ain't something based off of books. It's original. And it's got one of the best domestic openings so far. So, with that, let's look at some of these numbers. We got all these accolades. And Variety decides to point this out. Sinners has amassed $61 million in its global debut. It's a great result for an original R-rated horror film, yet the WB release has a $90 million price tag before the global marketing expenses, so profitability remains a ways away. Now, I don't really deal too much in the box office stuff. I mean, I look at it, but it's not really something I gravitate to all the time. I usually like to look at it after, the numbers come in. But are you what? Why are you worried about the profitability when the movie just came out? Keep in mind, this is literally 2 days. It's 2 days that this movie probably even touched a theater screen, and y'all talking about the profitability already? And this is where, shout out to Ben Stiller, and he says, in what universe does a $60 million opening for an original studio movie warrant this headline? And he's right. Because you're not going to see this. You're not going to see headlines from a major outlet questioning a film's profitability this soon. Let me rephrase that. You won't see them questioning an original movie's profitability this soon. Now, here's the thing. If this was a Marvel movie, if this was like a Star Wars thing, if this was a DC thing, something that usually has a track record, that would make more sense. Now, okay, I get it. Like, we know Marvel movies open with this and do that. That's different. But you're talking about an original film that made a significant amount of money, because 60 million domestically, and we're not even talking about globally, domestically is nothing to laugh at. That is a very nice accomplishment in the first couple days. Now you want to question whether it has merit? You want to question whether this movie is qualified to make its money back and make profit? It's real suspect. It's real suspect. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and I'm glad that they got called out on this. Like Variety, they absolutely hold on. I want to see the writer. Hold on. I'm just curious. I didn't read the article. Rebecca Rubin. Yeah. It's not a good look, Rebecca. Not a good look. Anywho, so if that wasn't already one issue, right? We sitting here now. Remember, we just talked about all the accolades, right? We talked about all the accolades that this movie was getting on already. Then there was like another piece that came out. And this is where apparently Hollywood got shook. Let's look at this. Ryan Coogler's WB deal to gain ownership of Sinners 25 years after release has Hollywood ultra freaked out. It could be the end of the studio system. An exec at another studio tells me my dive into this dangerous deal. Chris, what you look like? Okay. So apparently, Ryan Coogler made a deal with WB, and we'll get into the details, where he basically wanted the rights to this movie back. Right? Now, usually filmmakers, they will make a movie, the studio will buy the rights to it, and that's it. This is one of the reasons why even Sly Stallone, who created the Rocky character, wrote the script, directed, all of that, does not own the property and the rights to Rocky. Rocky is his baby. He made it. That's his thing. But he doesn't own it because he never made that kind of deal. He just didn't do it. But Ryan Coogler, part of his negotiation was that I want the rights. And we're not even talking about like immediately. We're talking about the rights in 25 years. When this man is in his 60s, then Sinners will be able to come back to him. So here's where we get to dig it into this a little deeper. We sit here and see here that, one of the studio execs, because I'm not going to read that Vulture article, but one of the execs declared that, that deal, it'll be the end of the studio system. However, shout out to receipts. George Lucas, Star Wars himself, passed on a directorial fee for Star Wars episode 4. Episode 6, A New Hope. 4, sorry. Instead, deciding to retain ownership of the merchandising and licensing fees. Richard Linklater was able to secure certain rights to Boyhood, giving up his upfront fee in exchange for marketing and revenue streams. Mel Gibson ended up financing the whole Passion of the Christ himself. And here's the other thing, Quentin Tarantino, he did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Sony was in a bidding war with WB at the time, and Sony won by giving Tarantino copyright control of the film. Have y'all noticed the difference here? Has anyone noticed anything with this yet? So this deal has been made before. This deal is something that is not new to Hollywood, but apparently now it's going to ruin the studios. It's going to end the system. What? Now, Ryan Coogler has also responded to this, and I'd like to play that clip, and I want to see what he has to say.
Talk about what you...
Hold on, let's get that. So this is him responding to what happened with his deal and all.
And talk about what you negotiated in making Sinners, the arrangement you had with Warner Brothers. The New York Times reports Warner Brothers agreed to spend $90 million to make Sinners and agreed to give you a cut of gross ticket sales. Now,
first of all, that's huge. You get some of the money up front. That's big.
rare arrangement known as first dollar gross, meaning before they recoup their costs, you're getting money as well. Warner also agreed, and this is absolutely key, to relinquish its ownership of the film to you after 25 years. The Times reports, quote, some rival film companies were horrified that Warner Brothers would give a film away even after a period of time. Talk about these key components of your contract and why this was so critical for you, Ryan Coogler.
That's a great question. I mean, what I will do is I'll maybe add some context that maybe those articles didn't add. I'm not the first filmmaker to get any of these deals.
Nope.
You know, and Warner Brothers is not the first studio to provide these deals to a filmmaker.
Nope.
You know, so like I think that a lot has been made of my deal in particular.
Why is that?
I'm not totally sure why. You know, I have my guesses. You know, but I've been in the industry long enough to know what kind of deals are possible, and nothing about this deal is a new thing. You know.
What's your guesses,
Ryan? It is not a
Ooh, great follow-up. Great follow-up.
I'd rather not say.
Don't do it.
but you know, like the attention on what's happening with this project. You know, outside of it as a you know, as a piece of art and as a piece of commerce has been very interesting. You know, but for me, you know, this film was very important to me. As a writer director, I've made over $2 billion at the global box office. I'm not yet 40 years old. It's taken a lot of time, commitment, energy, and I've missed out on a lot of things in my life. Making films that will always be owned by other people. For this one, because it was so personal, and because I had the ability to negotiate. You know, I asked for a few things that were very important to me for this project. You know, and for what it was about and what it meant to me and my family. And thankfully, you know, I was able to get those things I was asking for from Warner Brothers.
Fantastic. Masterclass. Great job. Great job. Yes. So we'll talk about those things. We know that, you know, according to the reports, there was a bidding war. There was all this stuff going on. And clearly we see why those other studios backed out. But let's back up for a second. Ryan Coogler had some thoughts on why this was a conversation. Why was his deal getting all this attention when other people have had similar deals and no one gave two craps about it? When asked about this, Ryan Coogler said that he had some ideas, and when he was pressed, he said, I'd rather not say why. And I think that is brilliant, because I need this brother to protect the bag, protect himself at all costs. So while Ryan Coogler cannot say why these other studios or these outlets are scared or why this is a news topic at all, I will. It's called racism. That's all. Good old-fashioned racism. When you have something that is fine and dandy, when white men especially do it, and when a black man does it, it automatically becomes dangerous. You know what else used to be dangerous? Voting. When black folks could vote. Whoa! Who's gonna what? Why? That was dangerous too. when black folks were no longer slaves and they were going to have some property and they were actually minding their business and trying to start businesses and be prosperous, that was dangerous too. When black folks tried to partake in the same rights and privileges that every other tax-paying American army veteran serving person could partake in, that was dangerous too. This is racism. We don't have to sugarcoat it. It's racism. If it wasn't a danger when George Lucas did it, if it wasn't a danger when Quentin Tarantino did it, if it wasn't a danger when Mel Gibson did it, but now it's a danger because a black brother from Oakland made a little movie about his uncle, now the end of the industry is going to happen. It's racism. That's it. This ain't complicated. It's racism. This is part of the colonizer white supremacist mindset. When things are going good for you, but when you see somebody who does not look like you partake in it and potentially benefit, you feel threatened. You feel like something is losing, something is being taken from you when it's not, because you've been benefiting from it for years. That's why this is dangerous all of a sudden. Because, oh my gosh, are we being diverse with the benefits? Are we including people in these benefits now? Are we going to share in the equity? So Ryan Coogler ain't got to say it. I'll say it. It's straight up racism. That's all. I don't care where you are politically, whatever. This is racism. But I love the fact that, you know, he put this out there. He knew his value. He knew his worth. And he was able to get that back. Now, here's the funny thing, though. We heard that, I want to say, like, you know, Amazon was on there. Maybe Netflix. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Sony might have been in there, but a lot of studios were bidding for this because they know Ryan Coogler's worth. They know his worth. But it was only WB that said yes. Right? Now, we have to remember, WB needs this. Right? And by the way, let me also throw this in there. Do y'all think that this would be a story at all if it was Christopher Nolan? If we found out, look, because, you know, again, I'm telling you it's racism, right? If we heard the story that Christopher Nolan is doing this Odyssey story, this movie or whatever, and he negotiated to get the rights back, forget it. How about if we just did it for The Dark Knight, since y'all love The Dark Knight so much? Christopher Nolan negotiated to do this. Would y'all not be praising how smart that was? Would people be talking about the end of the industry if Christopher Nolan agreed to get his money back, his rights back, to get paid up front? Did we not sit here and praise the genius of someone like Robert Downey Jr., who signed that amazing contract with Marvel and's been stealing from them every single time? Why do we praise when those guys do it, but when a black man does it, it's scary? Y'all freaked out. Y'all be telling on yourselves just too much. Y'all be telling on yourselves. Because listen, I would be the first in line to say, if I heard Christopher Nolan was, you know, getting the right, I'd be like, man, that's smart. The difference is, I don't view that as a threat. The same way, I look at what Ryan Coogler did, and I'm like, yo, that was smart. That was good. You got something, because here's the thing. If this was like Black Panther, it wouldn't make any sense, right? Ryan Coogler would not have any place to sit here and go to Marvel and be like, yo, I want to own Black Panther in 25 years, and I want this and this. Man, Marvel would be like, man, get out of here. We can go get somebody else. That makes sense. Marvel owns the property. Marvel, owns the rights. That's not yours. But this was something this brother made from scratch. This was something that this brother made that is not connected to some book. It's not connected to a previous IP or franchise. This was his. So the least that he can do is say, here you go. You can go ahead. I want my money off the top before y'all get profit. And I want that back in 25 years. Because y'all didn't come up with it. Y'all didn't buy the rights before this. This would not even exist. And you see my resume. This man had every right to ask for every piece and to have those demands met. Every right. Let's go back to this article real quick. Oh, can I take this off? There we go. Let's take this down. So we know that he's getting a 25. So it says here that he will have final say. Director's cut. And y'all know that's hard enough to get in Hollywood. He's going to receive his money as soon as the film starts making money instead of waiting for the studio to turn a profit. That's always nice. And he gets the rights back after 25 years. It says here that the lifetime, long-term value of our film properties is what makes a studio studio. This is the exec that thought it was all scary. It's how MGM sold for $8 billion. Things like licensing and windowing these films throw off hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars a year globally. So the whole idea of building up your library and you lose it in 25 years, wait a second, you just gave up all your revenue down the line. Excuse me, sir, shut up. Whoever this executives, shut up. Shut up. Because woe is me, this billion-dollar company can't own this movie that they didn't come up with or that they didn't buy the rights to. Y'all could have countered right back. I'm just saying, why didn't y'all offer him more money? If it's so valuable then. If it was so valuable to you, offer them more money. Or if you're a studio out there and the director is asking you for this or the writer or whatever, just say no. Nobody's forcing you to agree to these terms. Walk away. Let somebody else make that bank. Here's another option. Maybe in 25 years, when the rights go back to him, you buy it. You could just make him an offer and just be like, hey, can we have this? Here's a couple $1 million. Like, whatever. Last time I checked, according to this report, you got 25 years to also milk this. 25 years to sit here and put it on Netflix, to license it out, to make your DVDs, make your money. What are you crying for? Make whatever money you think you got to make with this. This isn't even a franchise. It's not, I mean, I think it could be, but y'all not doing nothing else with this. Make your money, go home and be quiet. You think you're going to cry over this? Woe is me. Oh man, we can't build our company. How about you go get some other movies? Y'all already thirsty of making remakes left and right anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not falling for the crocodile tears from the rich billionaires at this point, or millionaires, whatever. And, this says Warner Brothers Discovery, it really does speak to their past. If we recall, WB was in shambles during the pandemic. Y'all remember, the Snyderverse was not helping them. The pandemic was not helping them. They decided to go behind all these directors' backs and put movies on streaming instead of in the theaters as they agreed. That made people like Christopher Nolan dislike them, write terrible things about them. WB was a problem. They lost a lot of executives. They had to get new people in, whatever. But they messed up a lot of their relationships with filmmakers. So this right here, especially when they lost Christopher Nolan, was probably one of the best deals that they could make to show that they are a filmmaker friendly studio. So this was actually great optics for WB to demonstrate and to show, hey, we like filmmakers so much, this is what we're willing to do. Because this deal that Ryan Coogler just signed, I would not be surprised if other filmmakers are like, oh, you know what? Okay. WB seems to, they might have their head back on the right shoulders. Like maybe they got their act together. And, you know, to their credit, they actually came out and said, this was from Mike DeLuca, who's one of the chief executives. It's not a make or break thing for any studio in the industry. It was a competitive situation. Ryan himself went on the record saying he was going to get it from somebody else, and he made a pretty effective case for this movie, especially with its themes of Black ownership. This is very important and personal to him, and frankly, we're proud to be able to give it to Ryan. Good. That's what I want to hear from the studio. Hey, this brother came in, he made his case, it was personal. The movie itself talks about Black ownership and the purpose of it. Is that not ironic? Is that not ironic? The fact that if you've seen the movie, you know what happened with the whole ownership situation. And now you got outlets talking about how dangerous it is to let these Black men get all this stuff. Like, come on now. Come on now. Shout out to WB for at least understanding. Because that's you clearly had multiple studios in that same bidding war that thought differently. They all rejected Ryan except for WB. And Warner Brothers, DeLuca comes back and says that, yeah, Coogler's going to come back. He said, I just spoke to him this morning. He will absolutely be back after Black Panther 3. Ryan Coogler might have just found a new home. He might be their new Christopher Nolan. And if you think about it, both of them kind of have a similar trajectory. You know, Christopher Nolan started with like a very indie film with Memento. Ryan did with Fruitvale Station. And then after that, they jumped into like studio things with The Dark Knight and then Black Panther. And then now they're able to kind of do their own little thing. Like they're having similar trajectories, right? Now, obviously, Coogler doesn't have as many films as Nolan, but they're on the same path. So I love this. I love what Coogler's doing. I respect the hustle. I respect the innovation and the foresight on what to do with this and protect your property, protect your rights. And you know what? I hope that this does affect the industry. I don't think it's going to break it, but I do think it will affect the industry. We're like, listen, if you have a project, you know it's a banger, and you know your worth, get your money, man, and protect yourself. Anyway, guys, that is all we have for today. What do you think about Ryan Coogler scaring Hollywood with his offer and his deal that WB accepted? What do you think about WB backing him up? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Right. What do we have? CPT. Say that, brother. I'm trying. Listen, like, I really want, like, I'm nobody. I can say this. Ryan Coogler might not, right? I am not affiliated with Ryan Coogler in any way. I don't represent the man or nothing. But listen, somebody's got to say it. It's just racism, variety, passive racism. studio execs, active racism. Like that. Stop. This is racism. Y'all need to learn how to call this out, because when you don't, it only persists and it continues. So all them times, and what annoys me so much is when you start to see the white backlash of, oh, everything is racist. Maybe it is for you. Not all of y'all, but maybe you happen to be a racist, and maybe everything you say is racist. Maybe that is the case for some people. It needs to be called out, because the more it's called out, the more you can identify it, and hopefully you can stop. That's all. I think nobody wants to go around calling everything racist. We actually just want the racism to stop, so we don't have to keep calling it out. That's the real goal, right? Instead of whining about things being called racist, how about we try and focus on not being racist? That part, right? Anywho, Mike, what you got? It's the wealth building that's really scary to them. Well, the race riots would say that's accurate. Remember the Tulsa, massacre and all these other race riots? Black people were minding their own business, literally minding their own businesses, not bothering nobody, not threatening nobody. But racism, white supremacy ideology, colonizer mindset says, no, y'all not allowed to prosper. You can't prosper more than me. That's not okay in my mind. Racism, because you think we should be inferior to you. That's a problem. It's not okay. Yes, that it's messed up. It's messed up, and we need to evolve. We need to. I see what you got. How do you think the success of Sinners will affect recast T'Challa? Will Marvel be more likely to let Coogler use T'Challa Jr. in BP3 due to his leverage? Would they put him above T'Challa? So, I would direct you to my meeting with Ryan Coogler video. I think I just posted it last week. I need to post my other one too about meeting the Russos. Man, I got a lot of replay clips I haven't posted. But I don't think Sinners will have any effect based off of what Ryan Coogler told me when I asked him about the future of Black Panther 3 and all that. Because right now, it's in the hand of the Russos. We don't know what the Russos are going to do. Apparently, right now, he doesn't know what the Russos are going to do right now. My assumption is, now that he's done with Sinners, he's going to be able to talk with the Russos, figure out, oh, okay, y'all going to do this, y'all going to do that. You're going to blow up this universe. You're going to kill my people, whatever. And then he has to work with whatever the Russos and Marvel gives him to play with. So in other words, if the Russos blow up the 616 universe, right? If they have Dr. Doom destroy everything and blow it all up and start over, Ryan Coogler has to use that. Maybe there is no more T'Challa Jr. Maybe if the Russos keep T'Challa and Shuri or whatever and have them live, Ryan Coogler is going to have to work with that. So from what I understand, he is going to work with whatever they give him, and that is just common Marvel practice, because they did the same thing to James Gunn as well with Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. But thank you so much for that. Appreciate you very, very much. All right, guys, I think I made it right under 3 hours. Yay! Listen, we are going to do The Last of Us. I so sorry. I was busy. I was, out, so I couldn't do it. But we will get to that. I think I will go live on Saturday to talk about Last of Us, so that way we can go into Sunday with it. And then it's going to be every Monday that we will talk about it. So please make sure you stay tuned. Guys, it's the weekend. Please be safe, have fun, enjoy yourselves. You know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and